All right, Brandi, thank you so much for agreeing to do this for me. So tell me a little bit about what you were experiencing financially that made you ready for professional financial support.
Wow. First, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
What made me ready, or what I felt like made me ready?
Oh,
I was out of I was just at a place where my income had dropped drastically, and also for me being, oh, I was homeless as well. So income dropped drastically. I was homeless and I just wanted a restart. And so I said, okay, with all of this going on, the best thing is just to be able to go up. Um, I don't even want to, I mean, it could be considered rock bottom or the bottom, but I don't really think so. It was just a place where I had some idea of where I wanted to be. And I knew that I didn't want to stay where I was. And it was a segue. And so I needed the right steps to get out of that, like, place of less income, no place to live. And that's what made me want to do it.
nice. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
what's so powerful is that, you mentioning your situation and not feeling like it was rock bottom, because there are plenty of people who may be experiencing that right now, a drop in income, drastic drop in income, especially given the current environment, and homelessness given the current environment, and needing a reset given the current environment. So it's very timely to hear that. But even from someone like yourself who's gone through it, it's like, nah, I just knew the only place to go was up from where I was. And so that's so powerful, because as you know, we talk about mindset in this work,
Yeah.
and mindset is everything. So even that, tapping into your mindset then, and where you are now, it's just so much progress, and um, really just forward looking. You've always been forward looking. That's something I
Mm,
can say about you. So I appreciate you being that candid and sharing that
mm.
with us.
Definitely. I believe the testimonies are really important. They're really important when we share. I mean, that's really like gold. It just helps everybody grow, me and whoever can hear that. And I feel like you mentioned, the current climate, I really feel like this was like uh pre-pandemic, pre all of this. And I really felt like I was tried and tested in a time where it wasn't something global or national. It was just something very personal. And so my very personal experiences, and having that financial need and looking at things, I'm like, I can use the upswing that happened for me then to help so many people now that are in it, and I'm not there anymore.
Right,
So I'm like,
right.
I felt like I was like, it was a just divine to be ahead of the game, so to speak, and not like I'm, a better than or nothing like that, but there was just a very forward thing that I feel like God was doing for me, and
Right.
now here we are.
Right. And I love that. Everything in divine order. Again, it's like no one knew this time was coming, but to begin your own journey of order prior to this time, it just really highlights everything in divine order.
Right, right.
So I appreciate that as well.
Hmm.
So, given that you're in your journey, you're doing
Hmm.
the work, talk to me a little bit about the positive transformations that you've experienced using the Mastermind Money personal finance system and working with me.
Well, first of all, I absolutely love working with you, past and
Thank
present. It's been a delight and just so refreshing every time. So I love that I have you on my team, and that's how that's what I say, because I know that it was only in a divine way that I connected with you. And so for me, um, every piece of what we've done with Mastermind Money has been helpful. But what really drew me in was when I was able to get to you in a place of the 20-day that we did. Like, it was so rich. I mean, all the tools were there each and every day to and it was, for me, it was during a time where my money was very, very low. Um lots of sources of money. Well, I should say the vessels that God was using, because the source is God. But a lot of the vessels had closed off. And I was just like, whoa. But just from some things we talked about in our sessions a couple of years before that, I
Right.
was still able to hold true, you know, I was only doing things that absolutely needed to be done. So the point of survival, and then having the 20-day challenge was just like, it was so timely for me, because every stage of it gave me something to look forward to. I was able to look back at some things that were a part of my history and where it come
Okay.
from, and the way I look at money, and the way I feel about it, what I say about it, what I think about it. So those things were helpful for me to transition really out of a whole space that I was in with homelessness and loss of income to where I am now, which looks almost like completely opposite of that. It's mind blowing to think about. But again, that one for me is like, I feel like that's my baby of the program, because it was like, it was with me, and it was like my bedtime stories, you know, and I would listen to and do my homework and do
Right.
all the worksheets. I'm like, okay. And so even at a time when sometimes I didn't feel up to doing anything, but I was in such a mode that I'm like, I have to, this is good. It's good for the soul. It's good for whatever God has for me in the future. So let's do it. And I brought my dad in, I brought my brother in with me to
That's
do it as well. And we all were able to converse about that. So I'm talking so much about it because I feel like that program planted a seed for me, my family, and friends that also, you know, joined along the way.
mm-hmm.
And my goal was just to really change the conversation for everybody around me, not just me, because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to continue to converse about where I was going, what I saw, where I'd been. And it was important for me to, get them talking about it too, so we could just continue feeding each other, you know? So,
Right.
I mean, that for me, I know it's a long answer, but that
No, this is perfect.
really passionate about that, because it's very real for me. I was literally listening to those recordings and things. I was in my car, you know. I literally did not have a home, and I would be in my car with my journal, the one I'm looking at on the floor, and writing down my answers in the workbook, like for my worksheets, and going over them. And if I missed the night or something, I would go back and I'd pull over, I'd listen to it again, you know. And then when I would come crash at somebody's place for the night, I would put it on speaker and everybody would hear it. So that for me was just and like I said, when I had it for my dad, I had it for my brother. So the nights I was there, we would all start talking about it. And yeah, really, really beautiful time for me. So
Wow, you have just fed me. So, oh my gosh, just the idea of, I mean, everything you said is powerful. The details are powerful because, again, I know someone will see some of their story in yours. And what's even more powerful, and I thank you for emphasizing this, is you did the work. And
wow.
even in such situations, living in your car, that's something that most people would be like, I was homeless, I was living in my car, I couldn't do it. But here you are living proof that one, it can be done, and
Mhm.
two, you do what you value. You do
Yeah.
what you feel is going to be good for you. As you said, it's good for your soul, it's good for you, it's good for those who you care about. And then that was the other powerful part. I always say, this stuff that I teach, this stuff that I share is not meant to be kept. It is meant to be shared because we all have such experiences with money, and then it's familial, it's behavioral, and it really does touch the people that we love when we know something about it that we didn't know before, or we can
Yeah.
create a shift. And then to your point, it's a network. These are people I'm in touch with regularly. How can I shift the conversation with them? How can we start elevating our discussions? And that's what you did. And it was
Yeah.
so powerful for me to know that you did bring in your family and they were active. It was
Right.
like everyone took it seriously and y'all did it as a
Yes.
family. And,
Yeah.
speaking to your dad, and it was just also rich for me as a
Wow.
coach, as a professional, to see one client and the impact that you had on multiple people.
Wow.
And that is really what Mastermind Money is about. And I mean, I know our journey has been long and fruitful. And so to see your progress, to see where you are and like the shift, you truly aren't the person I met when
Mhm.
we first started working together. And you've
So,
created several shifts along the way to where
yeah.
your mindset now is, you're OCD about tracking. Like I gotta tell you, it's
So
okay, right?
I'm working on not being that way, but now I'm tracking and people are like listening to me. I'm at the gas station, I'm eating or whatever, and I'm, $35.69. Like, what is that? And I'm not even. Everybody around me now is, like I told you, is used to it, so they know like, oh no, she's tracking
She's
her
just
stuff.
tracking.
Yeah, and I'm working on not being so OCD, but again, like
It
it
works
works
for
for
you.
me. It works for me. So
Right. And that's what I appreciate. Every journey is different. So thank you so much, Brandi, for
yeah.
this awesome, awesome interview. And I am looking forward to our session this week. So our journey
Okay.
continues.
Thank
And
you.
I'll totally be in touch with you, sis. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sounds
All right.
good.
Peace.
Okay. Bye.